All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how nobody else was ever humble when they had a upper hand position. So neither we, as the Israelites, we ain't going to be humble in our rulership, man. We're going to rule over these people, like it says in the scriptures, with a rod of iron. And I'm going to get straight to the scriptures. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. It's going to be very strict in the kingdom of heaven, right? It's going to be very strict, man. Whereas in this society, it's not strict in terms of like they just monitor over you to watch what you're doing all the time, but it's strict in terms of if you try and ever do anything according to righteousness, then it becomes strict. It's laissez-faire when it comes to being wicked. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, do what you feel. But when it comes to being righteous, they monitor your steps, man. Every step you take, they monitor it. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my father. So all these other nations, they were never humble when they were ruling, right? And we ain't going to be humble when we're ruling either. We're going to be stunting on the heathen, right? Now, that's what I'm saying about the heathen. But then now I'm going to get onto another thing that we have to, like, even when you think, oh, I don't want to talk about it again, it always comes up, the women, right? Women are not humble in this world, man, right? They're not humble. And I saw a video earlier today that made me remember again and remind myself again that the Israelite woman and women in general, right? It's not even just the Israelite woman thing, it's all women. None of them are humble, man, right? And they really think that they start getting their chest too high over things that when men do them are considered mediocre, right? A man doesn't start saying he don't need no woman because he can sustain them himself. But that's the first thing that a woman starts thinking. And then she'll think that she now deserves a millionaire or some man that's like got about 5 times the salary that she makes because she makes a salary that's a living wage, right? Which is not realistic by any stretch of the imagination. And it will even be women that will think this, that are not actually attractive, which are the things that men care about. Men don't care about women's money. And there's a reason for that, because women will not use their money like how men will use their money on a woman without complaining. A woman might buy men this and buy men that, but for the most part, she'll be noting every single penny that she spent and hoping to try and get it back in the future anyway. Whereas men are not like that. Men genuinely, if they care about a woman, do not care about spending all of their money on that woman. But the reverse cannot be said, right? Because women are not humble like how men are. All the men on this earth right now of the elect to the nation of Israel, of the hopefully elect to the nation of Israel, they're humbling themselves towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we're not saying we don't need Yahweh, no matter what we get on this earth. But women believe that, right? But it's prophecy that they was going to have to do that. Anyway, it was prophecy that, let me get it. I was going to read Isaiah 32, but I'm going to read this first. It was prophecy that women was going to have to get these good things so that this prophecy can come to pass. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So it's prophecy that women was going to have to be given their own careers, their own jobs. Because a lot of women ain't even got careers anyway, they got jobs, right? But it was prophecy that this was going to happen so that women could start having their own and start feeling themselves, so that they could end up one day having to be like, I'll just take care of my own self. I don't care about none of that. I just want a man, right? I just want a man. It's going to get, and it might start getting like that sooner than you think, in terms of just a woman that can take care of her own self and she's prepared to just pay 100% of her own things, and a man pays 100% of his own things in a separate house, and all she wants to do is have a man. And when she goes out, she wants to just have a man around. because she starts feeling embarrassed when she comes out the house and sees other women that are with their men. Because women, it's all well and good and cool for women to be trying to do a hot girl summer until one of their friends gets a husband. Then all of a sudden, now the rest of the group's trying to look for one all of a sudden. That's how it goes. From what I've seen, anyway. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, and that's what's happening out here, man. Women's reproach is they want it to be taken away, but they're gonna start having to get things to be gassed up, and it's not through like honorable ways that a lot of these women are making money, and most of it is gonna be through the online way. You know what I mean? Through the online way, or going over to Dubai to do that Dubai you know what I mean? Dubai Potters thing, that Dubai, you know what I mean? That Dubai thing, you know? They're trying to get that money the Dubai way, you know? Let's go to this, Isaiah chapter 32 and 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. And women, even though you see them fake on TikTok or where all the men at the singles events, they're still feeling themselves, man. If a woman's able to, it has still got it within her mind to like turn on the camera and then start crying on camera, that ain't even real tears, man. That's not even the level of humility that's necessary for women to really be accepted as being repentant for all the wickedness that they've done. The real repentance is not good. They're not gonna have it. Their mind's not gonna work for them to turn on the camera. They're not gonna turn on the camera, man. Their mind's not gonna think, man, let me turn on the camera. They're not gonna do that because they're gonna be all over the place. Just like how Esau is going to be all over the place. They're going to be like a woman in travail. Esau is going to be all over the place, leading up to the days of the return of Yahweh Shai. They ain't going to be able to, they're not going to be doing them stupid, and I hope brothers know, I'm certain brothers know what I'm talking about, man. That stupid, smug, thin-lipped smile that an Edomite does, man. That stupid, and their eyes go all weird in it. Like they think they know something, some secret information. Because they've probably been online spewing out their hate on one of their many aliases online, man. Typing in the usual suspects on a video where Israelites committed a crime, but then silent as a cricket, mate, cricket's mode when it comes to their own, somebody that looks like them committing the same crime on a way bigger scale. Verse 10, many days and years shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So a lot of the ways how women have been able to have these careers, they're going to start disappearing. Right? When the lockdown came, it was all well and good. It was nice for them. But when the lockdown, by the time the lockdowns were released back again, a lot of women lost a lot. Because the things that they do, although in some cases it's necessary things to do, it's not as important and as essential as the things that men do, right? It's mostly men that do the bins thing, right? And that whole city in Birmingham right now is bogged out when you keep seeing these videos online about how people are chasing down the bin men trying to just throw rubbish in any garbage truck, not even the ones that are necessarily, not even the ones that are necessarily for the bin that is supposed to be for, man. They don't care. But that's a job that men normally do. It's not women that do that. You've never, even if you've ever seen a woman on a team of that, you've never seen an all-woman team doing that job. I've never seen an all-women construction team. I've never seen women on a construction course before in my life. I've never seen that. But you'll see plenty of women on a beautician course, but women can do their own makeup in their house. You'll see women learn how to do hair and nails and makeup, but really, every single woman just ends up naturally knowing how to do makeup anyway. Every single woman's an artist, really. They all learn how to paint their own faces, right? They learn that. By the time a woman's like 25, she knows how to do a few different looks with makeup. She knows all of that. They learn that. You know what I mean? But then they learn how to paint their face, but they don't think, oh, let me learn how to cook. And it shouldn't even be to begin with. It doesn't even have to be for an old man. Why they're learning to cook? Don't you have to eat yourself? Don't you have to eat food? You know? Verse 11, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fields, for the fruit of vine. They're going to be hoping back for the time where they was able to do their own, that strong independent thing, which is not really strong and independent. It's really like this. They get aided by a man or by the government or by some easy method of making money online through fighting and holding up themselves, yeah. And then they pretend like they're doing it big and that until they can now learn some kind of thing, some kind of skill or whatever, and then they get given a job because maybe the guy that's doing the interview is trying to clap the cheeks or whatever, right? And then they get a job, right? They get a job, and then when it comes to them having their own, that they end up overly spending their money, and then they can end up complaining, and they end up getting kicked out of their houses, and you see these things online. It's not real independence and real, like, where they actually would really know how to function in this world properly. Whereas us as men, if we got given access to the resources of that run this world, right, we'd be able to make this world run better than it does now. But if you put the Israelite woman in particular over this world and gave her access to all the earth resources and all the power to control and write laws for the earth, they're going to go straight to their own madness. They ain't going to go, okay, let's try and start making the earth towards the laws of God. We would do that as Israelite men. I don't believe the Israelite woman would do that, because the first thing she's going to be bothered about is, we ain't going to be doing no multiple wives around here. We ain't going to be doing no killing women. So like, we ain't going to be doing no unaliving women for adultery around here. We ain't going to be doing none of that. Nah. That's the Old Testament. We can't be doing none of that. Nah. We can't be doing none of that. The law's been changed, whereas we would be doing that. We'd be making the adulterer and the adulteress don't covet, don't bear false witness. We'll be trying to put all them laws in place, man. No alphabeting and rainbowing, no stealing, all the 10 commandments and everything else. Men, have a beard on your face, man. Even if it's a 5 o'clock shadow, have a beard, have something there. Jeez, have something on your face, damn. Don't be having no crazy shape ups, man. Simple things. We'd even do the fringes thing, man. We'd even make that be a thing. The border blue, the fringes. Why we wouldn't have a problem making that be a thing. We're not going to have a problem when that becomes what we're doing on this earth. We're not going to have a problem with it. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So we're going to be the ones that's pushing the laws. The Israelites, nobody else is doing that. Esau's in charge right now. Is he doing that? As much as he wants to claim, oh, it's a Christian country, I'm Christian, Caucasian, Christian, heterosexual male. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, man. Why aren't y'all pushing the laws of God then? Because you know that you would be the main ones that would be having to get punished by him if he was to do that. Your whole society ain't based around the laws of God. It's not based around that. In every single country that you Edomites run, alphabeting and rainbowing is legalized. It's literally legal everywhere that you have power. So what are you talking about? You're not against that. You love it. And then you're not only happy to make it be legal in your own countries, then you have the nerve to try and go over to other people's countries and tell them legalize it there. Because you know that that's a heavy way to corrupt and defile a whole society real quick. Because if people are prepared to do that, they pretty much will do anything else. Pretty much, right? Somebody that's prepared to do some alphabeting and rainbowing, you think they won't steal? They'll steal. Somebody that's prepared to go against their own soul, you think they won't lie and bear false witness? They'll do that. You think they won't turn a blind eye about a judgment that's supposed to go one way or another? Of course they will, because they know that their whole life and them even being able to exist and walk on the earth is because everybody in the society has chosen to turn a blind eye to the judgment that they deserve, which is Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. So of course they're going to turn a blind eye, because they're going to continue to remember that they where they're living and that they're even alive is because people are turning a blind eye to them, and they know what judgment they're supposed to receive. So they're going to turn a blind eye here and there. Of course they will. Right? Of course they'll do that. Of course. But women, on the other hand, whenever they get the chance to try and do something in terms of doing things the righteous way, in the scripture way, they don't do that. And that's why as many scriptures these women always want to read, and want to try and talk about they're about God and they're about this and about that. No, y'all ain't, man. I'm tired of hearing women trying to go on like they're righteous about the scriptures. No, you ain't. Right? And if you had the power to try and be ruling as Eve, the queen of the world, or as a woman that's Proverbs 31:10, you'd be choosing the Eve option, man. And if any of you women in this society was to be in the same position as Eve was when she got tempted by Satan, y'all would still do it as well. Y'all would still do the same thing that Eve did in the garden, spite the serpent of Eden, man. You would still do the same thing because you do it now. Esau writes a new law, right? That's actually wicked. And then you women don't say, nah, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that new wicked law. You do it and you use it as an advantage over men mainly, all the time. Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10, who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? Where they at? How many men in this world can really say that they've met a virtuous woman, man? Even sometimes when you hear the apostles talk about their women, and their men that I think are seeking righteousness, they say about their own women sometimes, my demon. You know what I mean? And I can see why a woman be called a demon, because they act like that, man. Satan be hopping on them, hopping off them. They start feeling themselves, man. They start getting gassed up on a regular basis. Women do in this world all the time. All the time. And then they get brought back down to humility. Then they start acting all right again. And then they start feeling themselves again. They might they might break up with their boyfriend that their ex left them and all that there. And then now they're like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge. They go out to a nightclub, fight it out for a few times, raise their body count up by about 5 over the space of like 2 weeks to a month. Then the next thing they're humbled again, and then now, oh, I want to be righteous again. I know my worth and all that. Verse 11, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he have no need of spoil. How many men can say that they safely trust in their woman in this world? How many? How many men can really say that, man? Can really say that they really trust their woman for real? How many men can say that? She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life. How many men can say that their woman do that for them? How many? Yet all these women believe in God and they go to church, tambourining it off, clapping the tambourine off their hip, catching a maga shadia, talking all that baba 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 baba, running up their mouth, trying to fake roll their eyes up in their head and that, making their wigs fall off. Know every single hymn. But how comes they don't know this part though? She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Not oh, I'm not cooking and cleaning and I'm this and I'm that. Not trying to stunt on mans. And mate, I personally believe, that if a woman had unlimited resources, unlimited, she would not want to help a man, even her own husband. But would a man do it? In fact, a man would help unlimited women if he had unlimited resources, because he'd make them all his wives and he'd help them all out. He'd improve all of their lives. But women, on the other hand, would not do the same thing. But then they try and come to men and tell men about how they've got all this money. What's the point? It don't benefit the person that you're telling it about. So what's the point talking about it? What different, like, it's like what these rappers do on their tracks, stunting and boasting about how much money they got and how much money you ain't got. Mate, why are you telling us for? It ain't helping us nothing. That ain't helping us. That don't help us none, man. Verse 15, she riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hand she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle go off not out by night. She layeth her hand to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hands to the poor, yea, she reacheth for her hands to the needy. That don't sound like women in this society. The women in this society just start boasting and saying men ain't this and men ain't that. They start going around the streets and twerking, putting their palms on the damn street, man. Palms on the street, ass in the sky, twerking it off. Gal them batty crease hanging out, gal them leg out, gal them chest out. You know what I mean? Gal them stomach out all around the cities. That's what I be seeing. That's what I see happening around here. Just so that they can get some attention from a guy that don't need to want them for no long time, because there ain't nothing long term to want about them anyway. But this is all prophecy that women was going to have to be given the freedom to do this stuff, right? And in their freedom, they've destroyed themselves. They've destroyed themselves with the freedom that they've been given. Verse 21, she's not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. But in this world, she wants to be known known in the gates, man. The woman will end up known in the gates because she's free and flowing out there. She'll be the one known, man. Her verse 24, she maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. So if there is any woman out there, don't worry, man. You're going to rejoice in the time to come, because you're going to be some of the first batch of women that are able to can push out of your womb a child that's of the elect to the nation of Israel. You're going to be the first natural birth women that make a man of the elect. I mean, a chosen new version of an Israelite, man. You're going to be able to say that. Whereas the first wave of Israelites that are going to be the complete new creatures are going to have been changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. But then afterwards, they're going to be conceived through the womb, right? A man that's of that stature is going to have a child with a woman of either Israel or another nation. But obviously first, it's going to be the Israelite women that are going to be the first ones to get the chance with that, because they're Israelites. So women that are of the elect of the nation of Israel are going to be the first ones having children that are of the elect of the nation of Israel. That just makes sense to me. I don't perceive how that honor would be given to heathen women first. And even the heathen woman that's able to push out a child of the new version of an Israelite, that don't make her an Israelite. So she can be happy that her child's that, but she still ain't though. So she ain't gonna be able to try and make out like she's equal to an Israelite woman even in the kingdom. She ain't gonna be. Verse 26, she openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Is that what women in this society do? Or is every single time they pretty much open their mouth, something stupid's coming out of there? Or they're just running up their mouth, arguing on a podcast, popping balloons because I don't like his glasses. Oh, it's the style for me. I didn't like his jeans. Or I didn't like this. And I didn't like that he's not 1 inch taller. You know what I mean? As if a man that's really all them things that you want him to be needs to go on any pop the balloon show, man. Yeah, right. He's outside somewhere and women are just walking up to him. Or he's inside somewhere and he's walking up to women. Or he's outside somewhere and he's walking up to women. And he ain't needing to go on no pop the balloon show, really, unless he's going on there for some clout, worldly recognition thing, man. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. So if a woman's a good woman, a man will praise his woman. Whereas in this world, women are kind of haters on their men, man. Some certain women in this world, they don't really even want their man to do good, because they'll be worried that he'll end up being able to have access and other women will start to like him. These are the things that happen in this society. They want a man that's all these things, but then they also want that man not to be liked by any other woman. And how the hell is that going to happen? How the hell is there going to be a man that's just, if we just speak about the height thing that these women say, a man that's that tall that women expect a man to be, he's noticed when he's walking on the street because he's taller than most people every single day of his life. And then on top of that, they want him to be handsome. Well, then he's going to be noticed even more because he's taller than everyone else that he's around, and he's more handsome than everyone else that he's around. Then they want him to have charisma and all that and be funny. Well, then that's going to make him stand out even more. So when you see him as a woman, well, guess what? Another woman saw him. And then on top of that, here's a thing that some women seem to not understand. If that woman herself that's got that man just so happens to be beautiful herself, well, then now the woman wants him even more because she said, oh, and he's got a woman himself, man. So now I want him even more because he gets women. They don't see a man with a woman and be like, ugh. No, they think, oh, wow, I wonder what's up with him. And start trying to take another woman's man. But then at the same time, they don't like men that commit adultery, supposedly. And they think adultery is a man sleeping with a woman, even if that woman's single. That's what they think adultery is as women. That's not what it actually is according to the scriptures, but that's what they think, though. But the woman topic thing can be never ending to talk about that because it's a heavy plague that's been brought upon the earth because women have been able to manipulate the world, or Esau's used women to manipulate the world to do a lot of wickedness, man. They've really confused up this whole society because they've chased money, but then what they spend their money on is not the same things that men would spend their money on. If a man gets money, access to large amounts of money, he'll treat his woman with this and with that, but he'll also do things that make sense. He'll buy houses and think about how to build up his family, not only for the first batch of children that he has, but eventually, if he got good enough at it, then he'd be like, well, now I'm going to do something for my child's child. And then if he's still got time left, he'll be like, okay, and you know what? I'm going to do something for my child's child's child. And if he has time again, he'll try and do something for that child's child, man. And he'll try and set something up for his whole nationality. Now, that's not what Esau did because he's a demon. Esau didn't give a damn about the rest of you Edomites when he stole that birthright. He didn't care. He was like, I'm hungry. And what's the birthright going to do for me? And threw all of y'all, all the rest of you Edomites under the bus with him because he was hungry. That's what he literally did. He was hungry. He threw his whole nationality under the bus because he was hungry. That's exactly what he did to you all, man. Threw his whole nationality under the bus because he was hungry. That's what he actually did. And that's what women do. Esau and women think the same. But Esau's been made to have power in this world right now. And women have been made to have power in this world right now as well. So that these prophecies can come to pass. That they get humbled. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also in praise of her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth Yahweh shall be praised. Or all that beauty stuff is vain, man. Because a lot of the times, man, this is what we know as men, man, in this world that we've been on this earth a bit of time, man. And I ain't even, in my opinion, not necessarily that old, but I don't think I'm young neither, right? And what we know is that women are able to change their face a lot through makeup, man. So it's really not really that big of a deal. It's not really that big of a deal, man, because a woman that's actually very beautiful for real, well, there's another woman out there that's not beautiful like that. And if she's got a good enough makeup artist, she can make her face pretty much look the same as the other woman. It's just the only difference is that she's not allowed to have any water accidentally fall on her face or touch her face, because her face will fall off into that on that water, or her face will fall off onto that wet wipe if her face is white with it. But as long as her face stays dry, she looks about the same, pretty much, man. Pretty much. Right? Pretty much, man. Not really, but pretty much. It's kind of close enough, you know? And that's how they feel. It's close enough. Verse 31, give her the fruit of her hands and let her own works praise her in the gates. But in this world, women don't want to even do that, man. Whereas men will actually desire to be able to have unlimited resources so that they can take care of their whole family. That's not what a woman's thought is. A woman's thought process is designed to have riches and things like that to escape having to do her woman things. Women are designed to try and chase the bag and all this stuff in this society to escape doing the things that's mentioned in Proverbs 31, not to fulfill it. They want to escape having to do that and want a man to now have to do the things in Proverbs 31 and everything else that he's supposed to do as a man. While they just say, oh, I've got the same or similar amount of money as you, so what are you going to say? But again, this was prophecy that women was going to have to be given these things so that they could get humbled in the end, right? They had to receive it so that they could have it taken away and be humbled, right? Let me get a scripture. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. How long will that go about, O backsliding daughter? For Yahweh created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. A woman's going around what men say to do what they want to do. But what they want to do most of the time is wickedness. Fun, right, is wickedness. Things that are fun are most of the time in this world not even righteous, man. Most of the things in this society that are considered things that are fun are not righteous. They're wicked, right? And I'm going to end the lesson there, Shalom.